Hey loves, it's me Love Jones. I am back with another one. It's 12:22 right now. That could be significant. It's so funny. I was just thinking before I turned this on. I was watching this reading and that girl was saying how people do love spells on people and then they go and get readings on them to see if it worked. And they be wanting her to say how the guy is so in love, but she can pick up on the fact that they doing love spells on them, and she know that the person's only running behind them because the spell is on them. But not only that, she said this person in particular did a love spell on somebody. Evidently had the guy running all behind her because of the love spell. Um, and the guy had AIDS. I don't mean to laugh, y'all, but it's funny. Y'all see how karma works? It ain't. It is funny a little bit, y'all, because you see how karma works. When it comes to people, some people get it back instantly. Some people it take a little bit longer to get. But can you imagine doing a love spell on somebody, taking their free will away, having them run behind you and treat you like you're a queen when you really trash, and you really trash. And not only that, but the person have AIDS, and so now you got AIDS. Now you got AIDS too. After doing this love spell on somebody, which eventually is gonna wear off, and they not even gonna want you. So I can imagine the guy must have had money or something. You don't just do love spells on just regular people just for the hell of it. People do things like that. When people have money, they try to get close to. When people have money that the person wants, or when a person comes with some type of benefit, that's when they do love spells. So they can be a part of them benefits. So the benefits can come their way. Um, Even in cases where the man may have been interested in somebody else and the girl may have been jealous. They do love spells for that reason too. A person got to be trash anytime they try to take away a man's free will, to try to trick a person into choosing them. And so I'm just going to stick with it. Probably is over money, because even if you get a man to choose you out of jealousy of the other person that he's actually choosing, you know you did a love spell, so you know it's fake. I don't know, y'all. That could have actually been what happened, because this Glorilla song is on. And I just heard her say, how the F is that your man? If he right here with me, does somebody call themselves taking somebody's man? That's somebody who was jealous. Somebody was jealous, y'all. And they did a love spell over somebody. Never mind the man's free will to choose. And who knows, maybe that love spell they did on him had him forget he had AIDS. And now they both got it. But she was saying the girl don't want to hear that. The girl getting mad now at her because she just expected to hear how much in love with her this man was, and not the fact that he just running behind you because of the love spell you did, and she really ain't want to hear the fact that he had AIDS, but she done did too much to stay attached to get attached to him. You know, and what I didn't realize, something she said, I might have to read up a little bit, but she was saying love spells, they start off at the very beginning. Like if you do a love spell on somebody who is not even interested in you at all, that can cause a person to be sexually interested in you, to give their phone numbers when they wouldn't have given their phone numbers. I figure somebody got to be real close to someone to do a love spell on them, but evidently not. They don't have to be that close at all, evidently. I didn't know that. I was just saying you had to make yourself at least available a little bit to this person for a person to do love spells on you. But that's not true, evidently. And so now I guess you got what you deserve. You got what you deserve. And I know that may sound mean, y'all, but that's life. It's karma. You know, the same energy you put out is what you receive back. And so you called yourself being sneaky and doing something to somebody. And that's what you got in return. Now you looking stupid. Can you imagine doing a love spell on somebody and coming out of it with AIDS? Coming out of it with AIDS. Well, at least they got the one up on the person that they were trying to get the one up on. They got one up on them, all right. Um, yeah, sex on the first night. Of course, it was probably on the first night because that's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose. This person was envious, y'all. Jealous, envious. You know, I swear these people where I'm at, these different kind of people up here, they don't. It be some crazy stuff happening. But again, you get what you deserve. That's an ego death for you. Yeah, there's actually a physical death for you too if you play around. When you playing around, it's a physical death for you too. You better make sure you take your pills. Be as up on taking your medicine as you was doing that love spell, trying to steal somebody's life away from them. God probably somewhere looking like, look at this fool right here. Let him go and get it. Let him go and get it. Let him go and get it. Dummies. On another note, on another note, mayor and governor has been coming out of my readings for a little while now. And it's so funny. I listened to something earlier where they were saying she mentioned the same thing. Somebody in one of those positions, they have a lot to do with what's going on. Y'all know me. I start reading into stuff, putting two and two together. It's a person I've been listening to for a long time. And I remember over a year ago when she was mentioning the same, something similar, and her reading today almost sound like something I heard from over a year ago. Now why? Why would I put the two together? I have no idea. It just automatically in my mind, it automatically linked to each other. And so what I was getting from that is whoever this person is in this position of power that was seeking to destroy somebody's life, to bring them down, to make them look a certain way. People were aware that this person was about to do what they done. Somebody could have given somebody the heads up. Somebody could have informed someone they thought was close to this person, could have been a friend or family member, to make sure this person knew what was about to happen so they could be prepared. They didn't tell this person, y'all. So it's so funny that people can just have haters from all different directions, but you'll never know until it's time, until you expect people to be doing the right thing, until the hater pop up with your man and they both got it. The hater pop up with somebody that was supposed to be your man, but they both got A's. Maybe, everything happened for a reason. Or until it pop up that they was told some valuable information that they just neglected to tell you because of what they wanted to see you go through in life. That's why I don't trust people. You think people are out here who you can trust, people who have your back, and they just be sitting somewhere plotting on your downfall and trying to figure out how they can take your place when you're doing something good. I'm sure this girl, whoever she was definitely clout chasing, no question. Clout chasing, and she was jealous. And so I'm willing to bet you that was somebody's so called friend did that, came and interfered in something and thought she was winning by doing a love spell on this person. And it's so funny because once people do love spell, I would be careful if I was out there like that. For these so-called men out there who have some going about themselves, I'd be real careful. Don't think just because you can sleep with a person just makes you this big man or this manly man because you can sleep with whoever you wanted to. Because a lot of times when you think you getting over on somebody, they really getting over on you. And so you beating your chest and you feeling like you doing something because you sleeping with a certain person. But that person be playing you the whole time. You be playing right into their hand, thinking you doing something. When they just be getting what they want out of the situation. And so if you are a person in a position of power, or a celebrity, or some type of person with privilege or money, I would be careful about that. I'd be careful about even letting who I let in my circle. Because evidently a person don't have to be already attractive to you to do a love spell. You can find this person disgusting and then you'll be all in love the next minute. And once it wear off, you'll be trying to figure out what the hell happened. How you lost out on so much stuff by chasing after this person. People are low down. People are low down. I always said people who do love spells are a special kind of person because why would you want the kind of love that don't want you? These are people who don't want you. They're not physically attracted to you. They're not emotionally attracted to you. There's nothing there at all a lot of times. And y'all are fine with tricking people, doing things to people to make them that way. And you get a kick out of it. Like it's funny for someone to go from no interest at all to falling head over heels for you. And you gotta be sick in the mind. And you have to know that you're really less than in order to be content with a person you know you had to trick into even being with you. You gotta be kind of sick in the mind. So y'all be careful out here in these streets. Because evidently people just doing love spells on you. And then laughing at the fact that you running behind them. And so if y'all have ever done a love spell, this person in particular, if they've ever done a love spell on somebody, I can imagine it's their karma they're getting back. Them doing love spells on people. And for the person who did the love spell on the person with AIDS because they have money, you deserve everything you get. You deserve everything you get. And for these other men out here, y'all better be careful. Because if she'll do it on one person, she'll do it on all the rest of them. And all y'all will be walking around here with AIDS, passing around the same STD. Because of this one trash female right here. No, I may sound bad, but I wish God would destroy people like that. I feel like people like that don't deserve to be around, honestly. I feel like they don't. Because they can ruin so many people's lives by doing that. But it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. They are around, and they are ruining people's lives by doing that. And so, moral of the story, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. Because evidently, look, I can't make it up, y'all. I just been shuffling these cards. This popped out again. Evidently, this person was jealous and envious of something. And they wish they had what was coming to this person. What was coming to somebody else, whoever they were jealous and envious of. And maybe this person, had they been able to move off their own free will, maybe they would have said, hey, I have this. When I take this certain thing, I'm able to suppress it and not pass it on to people. And so I just wanted to inform you, but that wasn't the case here. You wouldn't have been a person's free will. And it could have actually been the fact that somebody was even able to tell you what they had. And now look at you. Now look at you. You deserve it. Ain't nobody else told you that. I'm going to tell you. Tell the truth, shame the devil. You deserve it. Everything you get. I'll pay for it. You paying for it, all right. You paying for it, all right. So now a person probably gonna want to get mad and tell all of their business and do some real foul stuff because they put themselves in a foul situation. Somebody tried to sabotage somebody or did sabotage somebody by doing love spells on them. I see a Sagittarius right here. Endings. Can you imagine that? So anyway, if y'all going through the whole situation with the politicians, the bad politics is what I'm gonna call it, you need an attorney. I would definitely invest in getting an attorney because people in positions like that have the power to do a lot of different things to destroy a person. And believe me, you don't want to go through some of the stuff that I went through with these people in these high positions that do what they want to do or not do what they don't want to do. Yeah, they can rip somebody's life completely apart and then just pretend to not be responsible for it. But evidently, in that case, there's somebody out there that knows, y'all. And that's just me putting two and two together. You know, like I said, this was a reading I just listened to today, and it automatically in my mind, I popped up. It popped up in my mind reading from over a year ago, and it just made sense to me. It just matched. I don't know how my intuition is. Maybe you don't know, but it's like that. It's like that. And so somebody may have tried to warn somebody, but they told the wrong person. They told someone who was just as jealous and envious as they come. And that person sat back and watched whatever it is that was going on. And so if they were probably wondering why they had family or friends who just pretended to not know what's going on and support each other like I had, it was probably because they already knew what was going on. They knew it. And they wanted you to suffer through it. So when it's all said and done, and this is all over, when you get whatever you're going to get, whether you got to go through an attorney and do it, when you receive whatever it is you receive, I would not do anything to contribute to these people. I would not, because they watched you be destroyed. It's bad politics. They watched you be destroyed. They knew very well what you were about to go through, and they allowed it. And evidently, somebody out there in the world who probably wasn't your family and wasn't your friend, because evidently they had no way to access you for them to tell you themselves, but they cared enough to say something. And they just said it to the wrong people, y'all. They said it to the wrong people. So like I said, you never know who you have that's jealous, that's envious around you in your circle until you put them to the test. And that's why my circle don't have nobody but me in it right now. I've never trusted a lot of people. I never had a lot of people around me for a reason. Scorpio, they could have told a Scorpio, but I've never had a lot of people around me for a reason. Never. I've never had a lot of friends. That was always by choice. Um, yeah, I know people find that weird because they run with entourage of people all the time. You know, if you don't have friends, then you don't have anything. In my mind, if you don't know yourself, then you don't know anything. And if you always got somebody with you, you definitely not gonna know yourself. If you always got somebody in your ear, when you're gonna have time to listen to yourself, to come up with your own opinions and feelings about things. So yeah, yeah. So I said what I said. I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna pull some cards since we already at 25 minutes. I ain't gonna pull too many of them. The world leader out there. You know who that is. Maybe you. Maybe you are the world leader. Maybe that's why people were coming for you. They were worried about what it is you may say, what it is you may do, whose position you may take, because you're able to communicate with the masses. You're able to help people have better understandings of things. Maybe you're a powerful speaker. Maybe it's just the fact that you can communicate with all walks of life. No, maybe you are the world leader, but you definitely have some competition out there. People copying you, trying to be you, want to be in your position. Yeah, elite. To be elite people doing this, you could be the elite person. Prestige is right here. That could be them or that could be you. But you definitely have people here. There's some people here. I don't know if that has anything to do with the bad politics, but it could very well be have to do with this bad politics. Someone was manipulative. It says confident here. Maybe they didn't like your confidence. Someone that's they tried to destroy somebody here. Again, that's why I don't have many friends. That at this point, I don't have any friends. Someone I used to call my best friend, and it was only one person. It's so funny. When all this started, they turned their back on me just as quick as everybody else did. They faded right into the background and just watched. And so I don't call people my friend, let alone a best friend, just because I would have their back in a certain situation, because I realize I'm just me. And you can't expect other people to be like you. And so where I know what I would have did in that case, I was quickly shown what they would have done in that case by just watching what it is they did. And so yeah, I don't do the whole friend, best friend thing. You know, if I know you, I'm friendly. I'm always going to look out for the person or people I feel like need that. I'm always going to try to pick a person up when they're down, whoever they are. And so it doesn't change me. It just changes my expectations of other people. So anyway, let's see. Let's see, y'all. What's going on? I'm gonna be on here long. Already been 30 minutes. Already 30 minutes, so gotta get a move on. It's Friday. Trying to see what I can do, y'all. No way. Already talking about garnishing stuff. Speaking of politics, bad politics. People doing whatever they gotta do to try to tear your world apart. Never heard of them want to garnish checks and take property for $1,000. What property can you take? If you take a car, what you gonna give the person a check back for what you because the car worth more than $1,000. Like what is it that you're gonna take exactly? Especially when you have people out here in the world who owe much more than that. But it's cool. I already know what it's about, so I prepare myself for certain things. At least I try to be as prepared as I can. And so Can't waste time around here because they be looking for the next way to try to destroy you. And considering nobody moved like that to help you, but they move quick as hell to try to do the next thing. So I have to be on top of what I'm on top of. I have to make sure I focus on certain things. I have to make sure I'm not caught slipping when it comes down to certain things because that's what they waiting for. That's what they waiting for. That's what they want to see. Says it's time to talk sense. Whoever this is that may have been out to get you, it's time to talk sense. There's always tea time around here. So somebody may have been doing some things behind your back. They may have been aware, completely aware of what was being done behind your back. So this is always tea time. Maybe the tea was brought to them again. Like I was just saying about the bad politics, the tea could have been brought to them. And they just held it to themselves or just spread it amongst other people. This could be about someone spreading rumors, telling lies about you. It says it's time to talk sense. It's always tea time. In other words, somebody's always talking, but it's probably rarely ever sense. It's probably most of the time senseless things that they talk about, that people discuss. I said that a while back, people say don't snitch, but they snitch all the time about the most mundane, about the most senseless, the most petty things. They snitch all the time about. They talk all the time about. They spread rumors all the time about things that don't make sense. But when we're talking about things that do make sense, things that will cause certain changes, bigger things that can make a much bigger impact, then they use the whole don't snitch thing. We don't snitch. Keep your mouth closed, but at the same time, they're not keeping their mouth closed. They just talk amongst each other. It's always tea time amongst each other. And they're not going to tell the person who it can actually help. Which to me, that's what's nonsense. The fact that y'all can talk a lot to each other, but y'all refusing to tell the person that the information can help. To me, it's not people trying not to snitch. That's people who are they could be jealous. These people, hell, they could just be evil, dirty people. These are people who clearly don't want to see someone win. Because if you wanted to see them win, then you wouldn't allow this to take place behind their back. That's why I say I look at people in a different light right now. Especially after being out there for years saying best friend to somebody who was so quick to turn they back on me. Especially being like this with family members. And the minute I started doing well, the more distance they got. To eventually just stop communicating altogether. To eventually act like they don't see anything that's worth supporting. Like the whole time I was down, or not necessarily down, but you were a lot more well off than me, then everything was okay. The minute it started looking like I was being more well off than them, the minute I started doing things that they weren't doing, that they couldn't afford to do, the minute I started being around certain people that wasn't interested in being around them, that's when the issues started. That's when the problems started. That's when the secrets started being held in. people all of a sudden doing exclusive stuff that you're not invited to. Uh, yeah. Anyway, belong to your own dream. Create your own life. Some of us may do that, but others don't. From the look of it here, you have some people who probably did a lot of talking, a lot of gossiping behind your back, and it all had to do with jealousy. They want to be you. They wanted these, whatever opportunities it was that were coming your way, they wanted it for themselves. And so instead of helping you to be able to overcome whatever obstacles that were thrown in your way, they stood back and watched you instead. This is what this looks like. Even gossiped about it. But this is always tea time here. They were talking about it, no question. Now, how people say don't drink the poison, I feel like that's what's in that teacup right there. Y'all ever seen blue tea like that? It's given don't drink the poison. And said they were probably not only gossiping about it amongst themselves, but they did a lot of pouring poison up for other people to drink. And maybe they look like the more believable person. I don't know. Hell, it could have been people on love spells. Hey, you never know. Who in the world are you? Now they confused because they felt like they were probably thought they were taking down or gossiping about one person, only to realize that they don't even know you. They don't know the true you. They don't know who you are because they didn't take the chance to get to know you. These could be people you were close to, and these people could remember who you were back then, when they were being honest with themselves, when they had a relationship with you back then. They probably remember things back then, but they haven't been around long enough to see the growth. So you could have had a lot of people gossiping and talking about things of your past. They weren't only spreading rumors and probably lies, but they were telling a lot about your past that is irrelevant when it comes down to what's now today. And so you were probably being judged a lot based off things that happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. These people don't know you. And unfortunately, after sitting back and watching this, or after trying to take something from you, they probably won't ever have the chance to get to know you at this point. Choices. We have choices. Feeling blocked, restrained. Yeah, that's because blocks were put up around you. Blocks were put up around you in order to try to stop whatever this was coming in for you. They didn't feel like you deserved it, or furthermore, they felt like they deserved it more than you. And so you could have been feeling blocked or restrained for some time because these people, they were blocking you. They were restraining you. They were oppressing you so that you wouldn't be able to move forward in whatever this is. It's 101. Too many cards. Too many. Let me just get one. Timing. Oh, no. This is falling. The unknown descent, momentum change. So you could have been on this path. You could have been moving fast into your destiny, into your life purpose. When you're living in your north node, God does things to advance you, to push you forward, to give you, he gives you certain things to help you on that path, because it's where you were supposed to be all this time anyway. And so you may have been moving fast, but when these blocks start coming in, when all these obstacles start occurring that could have slowed you down, could have even stopped you from doing what it was you were doing. So if you were working on a lot of things, if these people felt like they didn't like your confidence, they felt like they didn't like your confidence. They felt like they should be in positions that you were in. If they don't like your confidence, they probably called you cocky or conceited. They probably tried to humble you. They probably said you need to be pulled off that high horse that you're on, that you don't actually wear the crown that God gave you, and you don't actually deserve to sit on that throne that you worked so hard to be on. And so with the blocks and all the obstacles, probably slowed your momentum down. Not only that, if you were sending this Empress type of energy, with people throwing blocks at you, with people not allowing you to move forward in life, with people doing things to knock you back, it probably made you angry. So it could have taken you out of that energy for a little while, that happy energy, that helpful energy, and it could have really put some type of sour taste in your mouth. It could have, like I just said, I look at people kind of differently. It could change the way you look at people, but not only the way you looked at people, the way you interact with them, because now you're going through all of these things and you're looking at people like y'all are the reason why. Why are y'all doing this to me? And so this could have been a case where this knocked you way down and you've had to pick yourself back up. If you haven't, you will have to pick yourself back up from this, because that's what the purpose of this was, to knock you down, to stop you from being as confident as you are, to allow other people to come in and take the place of you. And this could also be these people who were doing this to you. And so they could have been in certain positions to be able to do this to you, but now they're falling. Now they're going through changes in life. Remember, I said karma comes back. Sometimes it's immediate and sometimes it's not. It's like the girl who did the love spell on a person who had AIDS. You shouldn't have done this. You reap what you sow. And because you've sown all of these bad seeds, you're going to get bad apples. And so now these people could feel like they're in this unknown place where they're going through changes and they're not able to control it because of whatever it was they were putting out there for you to go through. You know, you get what you deserve, at least when it's given by God. Now you can do other things, and you can get some things you don't deserve when you're worshiping other things. When God gives it to you, you get what you deserve. At least in the cases of you doing bad, because nobody's perfect, and that's why it talks a lot about undeserved kindness. But you have to at least You have to at least be on some level of doing the right thing. Your heart has to at least be in the right place in order to receive the undeserved kindness. These people's hearts weren't in the right place. They sought to destroy you. And this was more than one person. This was a group effort. There were people. It's always tea time here. There were definitely people talking, people that knew what was going on, that just sat back and watched. And so not only these people could be falling, whoever it is that was actually doing it, some of the ones who sat back and watched could be as well. Because they had the opportunity, they could have done something that they did not do. They chose to just watch you go through it instead. You are rare and free. There are not many like you. And that's why they did not like you. That's why they tried to destroy you. Because they probably knew it was something in you that would get you to wherever it was that you were going. And again, these people who wanted that for themselves, they didn't want it for you. And maybe they thought you were a threat to them some kind of way. Especially if we talk about things like what I was just saying, bad politics. These people are looking at you like you're so different. Maybe you're so smart. Maybe you're so beautiful. Maybe you have a way of communicating with many different people, many different races, many different ethnicities, many different age groups. They seen this in you and could have felt like you were a threat to them. Because you are so different. Again, there aren't many like you. You know, funny part about it is God makes us all different. We are all uniquely made, but because most of us live in a world where we try to be so worldly and we follow all the trends and we keep these groups of people around us, it actually, it kills the uniqueness about you. It kind of suffocates that difference about you because you find yourself wanting to blend in. The trend is doing what everybody else does. And so instead of being you and showing off those differences, you decide to be like everybody else. And so when someone does kind of bask in their differences and their uniqueness, you know, a lot of times people look at them, they find them weird. Some people look at them as threats. Some people think there's something wrong with them mentally because how could you not be following this trend like everybody else? They're looked at to be everything but who they are. And so you may be someone who's not really a people pleaser. You do what you do for yourself, or you do whatever it is you do for God, and you're not really a people pleasing person. And so you could bask in your uniqueness. You could feel like you even thrive when you are just being you. I like to say I pride myself with being different. That's what I say. And so I'm kind of bothered by when I feel like I can't be different. And I'm going to tell you an example, y'all. I had a particular truck in mind that I've been wanting this truck for years. I haven't really been able to afford this truck, but I've been wanting it for years. Figured when I got to the point where I could afford one, that's gonna be the first thing I go and buy. Not only that, this particular truck, no one had it. When I first started looking at this truck and I wanted it, nobody, like you would see one every now and then. Every now and then, no one had this truck. Now I see these trucks on every corner, in every place that I go, everywhere that I am. I see them. It's like it became like a trend almost. This truck, and I'm not sure where, like why, or where it even came from. All of these different vehicles there are now. All of these different makes and models of different vehicles. Not only that, I noticed a lot of men and women at a certain point, they would like specific cars like the Chargers and the Challengers. Like they were all over those kind of cars right there, the fast ones, the ones that got a lot of horsepower. One that can do can go from 1 to 60 in a few seconds. So I wasn't really focused on all of that. And I see, like I say, certain things are like trending for people. Once certain people do what everybody wants to do, and so I couldn't figure out to save my life why this truck is so popular as it is right now. And it kind of, honestly, it kind of irritates me to see it everywhere that I go, because I pride myself off being so different. And nobody had those trucks to begin with. It's like, why y'all all driving them now? Like, can I just have that to myself? Can I just have it myself? No. For whatever reason, that's like a hot thing now. Everybody's driving one of those trucks. And I don't like it, y'all. I've just been thinking maybe I should just find me a different type of car. So when I can get what I want, I already know what else I want. So maybe I need to start thinking about that earlier. This truck has been in my mind for years, y'all, and I promise you, like right when everything started happening to me, all this stuff, all of these stones start being thrown. People throw the rocks and hide their hands. When all this started happening to me a couple of years ago, that's also when I started seeing this truck as often as I see it. It's like when all my stuff was being torn down, not only was people who weren't able to do what I was able to do started being able to all of a sudden. People who weren't in the places that I was in all of a sudden started having exclusive events where they couldn't invite me to, when that has never happened. I was one of the first people being invited to these things, and now all of a sudden it went exclusive. When all of a sudden I started feeling like I was being watched by the world, that's when everybody started driving these trucks. I started seeing them everywhere. And so yeah, that's yeah, just an example of what I be saying when I say I like to pride myself off being different. And it's to the point where it kind of irritates me when I feel like I can't be different. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess when you step in certain leadership positions in life, you can expect a lot of people to want to follow in your footsteps, to do what it is you do, to be more like you. But my thing is, how am I in that position? With everything going on with me with no help, how is it that so many people seem to watch me and know things that I like, and Takes me back to one day I was in Vegas and a man asked me how would I feel to be famous and broke. Yeah, so it's like I'm not in this leadership position. I'm not where I should have been at this point, considering everything I was working on back then. I've been knocked down from it, like way back from where I planned on being at this point right now. 2, 3 years later, 4 years later, I expected to be much further off than this. Instead, I'm not even where I started. Imagine that. So it's like, how? I know when people are in certain positions in life, you're going to have a lot of that, but how am I dealing with that already? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, you changed in a night. You changed quietly. Maybe you weren't around, or you says you changed quickly. So somebody could have changed quickly and quietly. Quietly meaning you wasn't broadcasting to everybody every change that you were going through in life. Every time you decided you wanted to do better with certain things. Every time you decided you wanted better for yourself in certain areas of life. Every time you started a business because that's what you wanted to do, it probably you didn't. You could be a person who does not do things for show. So you have some people who would be so happy to give to the homeless when the cameras turn on, and when the cameras go off they'll watch you starve and won't say anything. Pretend just like they never seen them. And when you die out on the street of starvation and the cameras come on because they found a dead body in the street, then these the same people that'll be want to march for you and say how this shouldn't have never happened when they watched it happen the whole time. And so certain people do things for show. That's it. They do things because they feel like they can get something from it. And other people do it for themselves. They do it for other people and they don't advertise it or broadcast it to everyone. I feel like that could be this person here. It says you changed in a night and you changed quickly, when the truth is you probably did this over time, but because you weren't voiceful, you wasn't putting it out there every time you did something different or wanted to do something better in life, and people didn't take note of them. Some people only see what they see, and so people could probably feel like you just did this overnight, and which could be more of a reason why they could have felt like it's so funny that you weren't being who you are. But it's as right as I was about to say that, I looked down at this card and first word I seen was false. And so a lot of people could have been saying that you were faking. Card says false heart. But I was gonna say that could be why they think you're not who you are. And people could have been doing things to try to make other people see you in the light that they seen you 15, 20 years ago. But newsflash, people, we all should have some type of growth. Shouldn't nobody be the same as they was in high school? None of us. If you grow like you should grow in the mind, your mindset, you should not be the same as you was back then. Everybody should have a time they were able to look back on and see where they've grown a lot from then. And if you can't, then you have more of a problem than anybody. You have more of an issue than anyone does because you've remained the same. And life is about growth. How could you possibly have the same mindset at 40 as you did when you were 20? It's something wrong with that. And so yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna pull any more cards. We've already been here for an hour. And I have stuff to try to do. Because you know what? Whether I do certain things for myself or not, somebody is always in the background watching and looking and trying to see what they can sabotage next. How we gonna get her next? And so I have to make sure I'm not caught slipping. Especially when you're dealing with people in these powerful positions. They don't have to do anything. They can sit back and have others do whatever they do to cause certain problems, issues in life, certain obstacles. And so I gotta go, y'all. I gotta get a move on for today. And I'll probably be back later.